Today we're here to demo a Manfrotto tripod. This is a 502 HD head on the top of the tripod, and we've got some 755 XB legs on the bottom of the tripod here. So the first thing I'm going to do is open up the legs so I can put the tripod down on the ground. You'll see at the bottom of the legs are a couple of clasps. We need to pop those off like so, and now we can open up the legs. Now there are two clasps on the legs. I'm just going to undo one of them because I don't need the tripod to be too high. So I'll just go around to each leg and undo each one like so and close up the clasps. Make sure the legs are fully extended and then place it on the ground. I'll just twist that around a bit. The next thing we're going to do is move the pan handle because it's locked off when it's in the bag. So we'll undo that. Move the pan handle out so it's in a position that's going to be comfortable to pan with, and then we'll tighten that up. Now with respect to the head, there are two ways we can move it. We can pan, which is this sort of motion, and we can tilt, which is this sort of motion. And there are ways we can lock both of those things, and there are ways that we can change the resistance on both of those things. So why would we want to do that? Why do we want to change the resistance? Well, if we have a bigger camera on the tripod head, then we'll probably want more resistance when we're moving it. And if we have a lighter camera, we'll probably want less resistance. So let's look at both those things. Firstly, the panning. Again, this sort of motion. If we want to lock that so we can't accidentally pan left or right, you'll find in the middle here, a bit hard to see, there's a little knob that we can twist. And if we twist that around and tighten it up, now, I have to put some fair force on that to make it pan left and right. And you don't want to do that. You want to make sure it's not locked if you are going to pan left and right. So I'll just undo that again. If I do want to adjust the friction or the resistance as I'm panning left and right, there is this red ring. If I move that around clockwise, looking from the top, then it's going to add more resistance. So this would be useful if I had a larger camera. If I go back anti-clockwise, there's going to be less resistance and it's easier for me to move. In terms of the tilting up and down, if I want to lock that off entirely, so I can't accidentally do it, this knob here, if I twist that around, now I can't move it. If I undo it, now I can tilt up and down. Again, if I want to change the resistance, let's come around here, there is a knob for that on the other side. So if I twist that all the way forward, there's basically no resistance at all, it just becomes floppy. If I twist that all the way back, then there is quite a bit of resistance, so much so that the tripod actually moves if I don't have a camera on top. So what you need to do is basically find something in between that's suitable for the camera that you're using. If you're using a heavier camera, you probably want more resistance. If you're using a lighter camera, you want less resistance. Another couple of features of the tripod itself. If I spin that around, and you might need to zoom in for this, Alan, there is a level that you'll find here. So if you are on uneven ground, as I am today, you can inspect that level to make sure that things are as level as they possibly can be. On top of the tripod, we've got the plate, and this is what you'll take off and then mount to the base of your camera so you can install the camera onto the tripod head. Now to get this thing off, there are two things you need to do. Firstly, you need to unlock it. So the plate lock is here. And again, we just undo that, take the tensions off, and then the plate becomes loose. But it's not actually going to come off just yet. It's still got a safety in there. To entirely remove the plate, we push on this black button here, and then we can take the plate out entirely. So on the plate, you'll find two things. You've got this gold nub here at the front. So this is the lens end of the camera that goes into the bottom of the camera facing the lens. And then you've got this silver screw, and this is what screws into the base of the camera. So let's do that now. I've got a camera here with me, and you'll see on the bottom of the camera there are three little holes. Now, with respect to the plate, we only need to actually use two of the holes. The middle one is what we'll put the gold nub into, and the back one in this instance is what I'm going to screw that silver screw into. So let's do that now. Get it on there nice and tight so the camera's not going to wobble or fall off. And now I'll spin the tripod head around And I'll push that same black button that I was pushing earlier to release the plate, and I'll slide the camera on. So now the camera is on the tripod, but it's not quite tight yet. And you'll see that it will actually slide around. We need to lock it in place. Spin that around for you using this fastener here. And now, if I pan all the way down or pan all the way up, the camera is going to stay in place. Finally, I need to level the tripod. You may be able to see there that it's not as level as it could be. Down the bottom of the tripod, underneath the head itself, you'll find this extending pole. Now, this can be used to raise the tripod up even further if you need to. There's a little fastener over here, and if we undid that, we could raise up the neck and get even higher if we needed to, like so. But we'll just tighten that up for now. What we want to do is make this whole thing level. So to do that, I'm going to unscrew this, and you'll see now that it's quite floppy. It moves around. You can go left and right, up and down. So this is really beneficial if you are on uneven ground, as we are here. I'm going to use the level on the back of this 502 head. Where are we? There we go. It should be level now. I'll screw it back into place. And now we know that when we're recording, we're actually going to get a level shot with no weird horizons or anything like that. Now this feels pretty good. I might just go through and play with the tensioners, maybe add a bit more drag to my panning until you come up with something that feels natural. Something that gives a little bit of resistance, so you need a little bit of pressure, but you don't want to have too much force, not so much force that the whole tripod tips over. Once you're happy with that, you're ready to start filming.